Alright, folks. As you can see, I'm not here today. I am over at Pasadena Memorial, but I wanted to take a couple of minutes and go over a couple of things with you today. Uh, the books that we're all reading are all dystopian fiction, and we've been doing a lot of dystopian fiction. We did dystopian fiction with Shirley Jackson and her story, The Lottery. We did that last semester. And all three of the books that you're reading right now fall into that category of dystopian fiction. So I wanted to take a bit and do a little bit of an introduction as to what dystopian fiction is. And this is a really good article that I found and I want you to read. It's by John Joseph Adams. And here's the website that the article was originally found at. It's a pretty good little introduction. You're going to be reading it here in a little bit, and it will be found up here on Schoology. I haven't loaded it on Schoology as the time that I'm doing this video, but it will be there for you tomorrow. So before we get to that article, though, I want us to discuss what dystopian fiction is. So go here into Schoology and go to the fourth 6 weeks, and there is a folder called dystopian fiction. Okay, and then there is a PDF. We're going to open that up. Now, I have found personally that it is a little bit difficult to get this to work quite the way I want it to work. So my recommendation is that you download the file, and it will download there, and then you can just open it right on up. And I think it works a little bit better like that. Okay, so dystopias, what are they? Well, for us to understand what a dystopia is, we have to understand what a utopia is. And a utopia is a Greek word for a place or a state or a condition that is ideally perfect in respect to the politics, the laws, the customs. A utopia is a perfect place to live. Okay? Now, a dystopia is the exact opposite. It is an imperfect place to live, and in fact, dys means bad, and topia means place, so it means bad place, according to the Greek. So what we have here is a futuristic, imagined place that has an oppressive society, that has an illusion of being a utopia, or an illusion of being a perfect society, but that illusion is quickly shattered once we start looking at the government and the society and the totalitarian control. Totalitarian is a big word, and it means ultimate control. Okay? And that if anybody makes criticism about that, if anybody says, hey, this is wrong, then they're the ones who are shunned, and they're the ones who are hunted down. Okay, so let's look on here, and it says characteristics of a dystopian society. And the first thing we've got is propaganda used to control the citizens of the society. Okay, propaganda means that the radio, the TV, the advertisements, the magazines, all of that is used to control the citizens, that the government regulates what is going to be said. And next we have information is dependent on and independent thought and freedom are restricted. They don't like it when you think on your own. They want you to stay inside the box. They want you to think what they want you to think. Okay? A figurehead or a concept is worshipped by the citizens of the society. Okay? Usually there is a very strong authoritarian figure that everybody sort of, follows. Everybody tips their hat to. Citizens are perceived to be under constant surveillance. Shh, we can't talk here. People might hear us. Okay? Citizens have a fear of the outside world, and a lot of this is because the government doesn't let them know what's on the outside world, or they tell them that what's on the outside world is worse than what is on the inside world. We see this in Divergent, where nobody knows what's going on outside of the wall. All right. We see this in what is it, Hunger Games, when we have District 13. Okay, and everybody thinks that District 13 is a wasteland that you can't go there. So we also have citizens living in a dehumanized state. We see this in Hunger Games, where we have children fighting to the death. That's a dehumanized state. We also see that in books like 1984, where the only thing that people are good for is to be a worker, to be a slave. We see that in Divergent, where each person is put into a category, and they're not allowed to stray outside of that category. They're not human, they're just a category. They're that's dehumanizing. We also have where the natural world is banished or distrusted. When things that we take for granted and that are just normal and natural are no longer considered to be normal or natural. And then we have citizens conform to uniform expectations, and the individuality is bad. Okay, what do we see within Divergent? We see that individuality is bad. They have to be one thing or another. They have to be erudite, or they have to be I can't remember the name of each one of those. Or we see this in Hunger Games, where all of the people of District 12 are coal miners, and they even talk about it with them coming in through the parade. That, well, what are we going to do with them? We're just going to dress them in gray because they're going to be coal miners, right? So we see that citizens conform to those uniform expectations. All right, and then society is an illusion of a utopian world. I'm going to let you read the rest of this for yourself. Okay, I've taken you point by point through the dystopian society, but I want you to read the rest of this, and we're going to come back to it later. Okay, and then once you're done doing that, I'm going to want you to go to I'm going to want you to pull up the say, do, mean for the article that I'd shown you at the beginning, and it's going to look just like this. And we're going to get to that in the next video. So go ahead and finish reading the dystopia's definitions and characteristics. And when you get done, pull up the say, mean, do for the article, and I will go through that with you in just a bit.